Kiki, well, it's another weekend of construction here in East Boston on and inside the Sumner Tunnel, and now it's expected to get louder, and those who live around here have been warned. Loud banging coming out of the Sumner Tunnel. Crews in East Boston are starting demolition on the roof of the tunnel. Residents receiving flyers with the heads up.
They just dropped off a little paper, expected to be loud and feel vibrations, stuff like that.
This on top of the backup that's come with closing the tunnel on the weekends.
That usually backs up traffic, and it's just, it's like a mess around East Boston trying to get around.
Timely backups and just a lot of hassle.
Which is exactly why some choose to stay home.
Definitely. Extremely inconvenient, I would say. We just try to plan one, leaving the apartment once a day because we don't want to go out twice, stuff like that.
Yeah, so you can't wait for it to be over.
Oh yeah, 100%.
And it's far from over. Mass DOT officials say this step is still considered part of Phase 1, and Phase 2 will include a complete closure of the Sumner Tunnel. Reporting live in East Boston tonight, Lisa Greshey, 7 News.
The night team's Michael Yoshida here in the newsroom with the latest at 10 o'clock. Michael?
There has been no motive identified yet, but investigators have found some clues and a note that was in the gunman's backpack. Videos now surfacing from the shooting show how students work to stay safe while on the MSU campus.
We're coming to the cops right now.
They said don't open the door.
New video capturing the terrifying moments as students barricaded themselves inside a classroom after shots were fired on the Michigan State University campus.
Guys were telling us to run out the back doors as quick as we can and run for our lives.
Students running for their lives, hiding wherever they could.
Dude, holy
oh my God.
Right when that first gunshot went off, I booked it to the far corner of the class. I was sitting right next to the door where he came in.
Now, 24 hours after the deadly shooting, the answer to why a gunman opened fire at the school remains a mystery. Police identifying the shooter as 43-year-old Anthony McCray. He died from a self-inflicted gunshot wound. CNN reporting McCray had a 2-page note in his backpack where he threatened to finish off Lansing and also wrote there were 20 of him who would carry out shootings at schools in New Jersey where he grew up. McCray's home now being searched by investigators. His father telling CNN his son became bitter, reclusive, and angry after his mother died 2 years ago. Police say McCray had no connection to the school but did have a criminal record. Court record showing McCray pleaded guilty to a misdemeanor firearm charge in 2019. He gave up his weapon as part of the deal and served probation until May 2021. The focus for many now shifting to the victims and their families.
We're devastated at the loss of life, and we want to wrap our warm arms around every family that is touched by this tragedy.
It was around 8:20 Monday night when the terrifying moment started. Police racing to get people to safety.
I'm coming down stairwell 13 with 7 people.
Officers also scrambling to find the gunman, who opened fire in an academic building before then heading to the student union.
It's going to be a suspect wearing red shoes and a backpack.
Investigators credit a tip from someone who saw these pictures of the suspect tweeted out by police. He shot himself when confronted by officers.
Shots fired.
Clear, shots fired, 2349. Subject down.
Tuesday, a memorial growing on the university's campus. 5 students were critically injured, 3 others killed. 19-year-old Ariel Anderson, a sophomore, 20-year-old Alexandria Verner, a junior, and Brian Frazier, a sophomore too. Students, staff, and the surrounding community now coming together to pray and cope with what happened.
Particularly because it wasn't just a shooting, it was also a manhunt on campus. It was sort of a double trauma in a way. And everyone felt the effects. We're over 50,000 students here, so it's a traumatic thing that's going to take a while to get over.
Following the deadly shooting, Michigan State University has canceled all classes. That includes both online and in person until Monday. In the newsroom, Mike Yoshida, 7 News 19.
And the Hawks took the ice for the first time since losing their beloved goalie, Dylan Quinn, his little brother, dropping the puck during the emotional tribute. Dylan Quinn's younger brother in the Hawks team lineup Saturday night, wearing Dylan's number. Above the bench, the 16-year-old's home jersey, and on the glass, a poster of the goalie that read, "Forever number 33, we play for you," something the coach says Dylan would have wanted.
Oh, just real good for the kids to get back on the ice. When we talked last week, their big concern was getting back and playing because Dylan would want them to play.
And play for Dylan they sure did. With 6 minutes and 33 seconds on the clock, the Hawks scored their third goal. Those in the crowd honoring the teen in more ways than one. Their faces painted with his number and initials, some wearing shirts with his picture. And in the lobby of the Raynham Iceplex, memories of Dylan Quinn, who will surely be missed both on the ice and off.
A player, dedicated, very focused, determined, really enjoyed playing hockey. As a person, goofball, kind of the heartbeat of the team. We miss him greatly already.
Now the coach says Dylan will remain in their hearts not only through tonight's game, but for the rest of the season. Reporting live in Raynham tonight, Lisa Greshey, 7 News, Night Team.
The Night Team's Lisa Greshey is live in Cohasset with more on that tonight. Lisa.
Kiki, and tonight we're getting that first look at the Cohasset police log, and according to that initial call, Brian Walsh wasn't the one to report his wife missing. A police log from Cohasset Police shedding new light on how this investigation started. Recorded in the log, a call requesting a well-being check for the now missing mother of 3, Anna Walsh, on January 4th. Anna was last seen January 1st. The caller identifying himself as the head of security for the company Anna Walsh works for in Washington, D.C., telling police the company contacted her husband, Brian Walsh, and at that time he hadn't reported her missing. The log going on to break down the officer's next steps, including a conversation with Brian Walsh, who told the officer his wife left for D.C. and he hadn't heard from her since. Investigators then attempted to ping Anna Walsh's cell phone, but it appeared to be off, according to Verizon. Police adding the phone had last hit a cell tower January 2nd at 3:14 in the morning. This as we got a first-on-7 look at Brian Walsh's booking photo. He remains in custody for misleading the investigation into his wife's disappearance.
Brian Walsh.
And as of Friday, Quincy court officials say detectives have returned the search warrants to the clerk's office. Expected in those documents are the details regarding exactly what was found inside and outside the Walsh's Cohasset home, including the bloody knife we know was taken from the house as evidence. But a judge impounded the documents immediately, shielding the findings from the public. Investigators have also searched a dumpster near Brian Walsh's mother's complex and a trash processing center in Swampscott. The community following every twist and turn in the investigation, holding a prayer vigil and pushing to keep the couple's 3 children who are in state custody together. Police in D.C. adding to the investigation, releasing an incident report from August of 2014 when Anna reported Brian and threatened to kill her and her friends over the phone. But the case was closed, the report indicating the victim, Anna Nip, her maiden name, refused to cooperate in the prosecution. And now that those search warrants have been returned to that Quincy court, forensic experts believe that more information could be coming soon. Reporting live in Cohasset tonight, Lisa Greshey, 7 News, Night Team. The Warming Center here in Somerville is officially open overnight for anyone who may need a warm place to stay overnight as these temperatures take a dive.
We're trying to create a space that is safe, comfortable, warm, welcoming.
With temperatures tumbling and snow swirling Saturday night in Somerville, ambulances on standby to bring people to the city's warming shelter open for the weekend to keep people safe during the bitter blast.
It's an important option to have for people who have no place else to go. This population in particular, very exposed to the elements.
Volunteers inside making sure people are both warm and comfortable.
We have cots and mats and blankets, food, and our amazing partners at the Somerville Homeless Coalition who have done a fantastic job running these sites.
Walk-ins, even pets, welcome.
So we do have some options if folks need to get out of the weather and they need to bring their furry friend with them, right? We know that some people are less likely to take shelter if they can't do that as well.
The city deciding to open the community building at 191 Highland Avenue, normally used by the Somerville Arts Council, to host events and dance classes as a shelter as soon as officials learned wind chills could have it feeling like 0 degrees or below.
We try to keep an eye out for those conditions and provide an option for people to be. Every time we do this, it can be a difference between a really poor outcome for someone and having a welcoming space to be. So it's about safety, but it's also about knowing that their community here has their back.
Officials are also urging people to be on the lookout for anyone who may be without a place to stay, or if they're sleeping in a car. If you see either of those things, they'd like you to call 911 so those people get the help they need and fast. Reporting live in Somerville tonight, Lisa Greshy, 7 News, Night Team.